Coming up next, I'm going to tell you how to find the unlisted jobs. And then, big question today. Should politics be discussed at the office? And we take your calls. It all starts right now. All right, here we go. I am coming to you live from our Ramsey Solutions studios in Nashville, and you are joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do it, and how to get there. And I have got to have a sip early on, Joe. Just got started, and I've got a tickle in my throat that I'm not going to make it through. So this is the part of the show where I have a sip of just water. And then I do that because Joe hates that. I don't know where Nathan, the director, is on that. Joe hates the unnecessary noises from the mouth area. I don't know why. We've never really discussed it. Today's not the day. But I enjoy a good sound effect. And I've been known to gargle water once or twice in the old days. Kind of the wine tasting deal where you get it kind of right there in the, I don't even know what you call that. There's got to be like a thing for that. But all those things are my way of just messing with Joe a little bit because he's a purist. So there we go.
Thank you.
This is a show about you and what you were created to do. We think that you should enjoy Monday mornings, not be miserable. And even if you're not miserable, you're grateful for your job, but you know there's more. This show is for you. 844-747-2577. 844-747-2577. Okay, now listen. I teased this at the top of the program. But I want to say a little something more about it because we're having fun lately as a team. Kind of going, hey, there's a lot of issues that affect people at work, and not just, in the United States, but around the globe. And a lot of commonality there. And so we want to create some really good conversation around some stuff that we're seeing to get your feedback on it, to get you engaged, to be able to deal with it if it is a reality that is in place or it is coming your way. And so today, a little bit later, we're going to talk about should politics be discussed at the office. And let me tell you something, folks. This is really interesting stuff. New survey about how things are changing as it relates to workers and what they're demanding and wanting to talk about. Whoa. And some different stances. Where are you at on the issue? So I'm going to give you the survey. Where do you fall? And then do you think it should be openly discussed? If it is, how? Do you want your leaders to agree with you? What if you don't agree with them? All kinds of things. So, wow, Joe. This is going to be an eye-opener for a lot of people. So that's coming up. But first, how to identify and then get the unposted job. Some of you are going, what is that? Well, this is a reality. In fact, I did a satellite television media tour last week where I did a lot of local television markets around the country, and we talked about this. So let's set this up so that you know what it is. I've addressed this briefly, but this is important because I think this is going to happen more and more. And I think the data shows that I'm right. So a growing number of jobs, this is from a Fast Company article, growing number of jobs are hidden. As more companies move to employee referrals, we do this big time at Ramsey Solutions, and professional networks for sourcing qualified candidates. So what that simply means is if companies are relying more and more on their team for referrals, and they should, I think healthy companies should do that. Let's let eagles attract eagles. Let's birds of a feather flock together. Let's figure this out. This is true. And so we want our team recommending people they know that they think are going to be a good fit for the culture, not just for the job. All right. So that's happening. And then leaders themselves, hiring managers, they may have a professional network. They go, hey, I'm looking for somebody like this, this, and this. And what they're trying to do is move quicker and be more efficient in the hiring process by relying on relationships and connections. All right. So if this is happening, and it is, then that means companies are going to go this route first before they'll actually post something. Thus, the idea of the hidden job, the non-listed job. So how do you find this? You're just not going to cold email, cold call going, hey, any positions you guys are hiring that you haven't posted yet? That's not going to work. So how do you do it? It gets back to my proximity principle, which says in order to do what you want to do, or you could say be where you want to be, you got to be around people that are doing it in places where it is happening. So this is intentional connecting. Just very, very intentional. Not just, I'm going to throw out a ton of emails, submit a bunch of resumes. No, I'm going to be very intentional to connect. So they quote an expert in here that's got a last name, Shavkopoulos. I hope I'm saying that right. Ivan Shavkopoulos, who says that the way to do this is to cultivate a deep knowledge of the industry. And I think he's absolutely right. Depending on the industry or location, there's usually a rumor mill. You may become aware that some companies are hiring more than others. You may be aware that certain industries are on the rise and need talent. There are multiple ways of finding out. Research. That includes industry journals, company blogs. This is the way to find the unlisted gig. And this is absolutely really, really good advice. And I've alluded to this before, so I don't need to add a whole bunch here, but to remind you that becoming immersed in your industry, becoming an insider by connecting to other people who do that work now and are gainfully employed at other places. Hello, that's how you find out about the unlisted job. Getting in places, so that's online, communities, journals, getting in. What's being said? This company's popping. It's hot. Do you know anybody over there? Hey, I read an article. You guys hiring? Yeah, as a matter of fact, we're looking for this. We haven't posted yet. That's how you get the edge. Immerse yourself in the industry, the business, the sector that you want to be in. Become so knowledgeable about it that opportunities come to you before anybody else because you're aware of them. You got your ear to the ground, the old adage says. Pay attention. Develop deep knowledge and deep connections. That's the takeaway. Develop deep knowledge and deep connections. Out of the knowledge and connections that you are acquiring, the unlisted, the opportunities will come to you. We bought a house a year ago, and because we've got the best realtor in Franklin, and she knows about everything and everybody. And we just happened to talk to her. Hey, anything coming up? And she knew about a house that was going to come up. That was, that she said, I'll talk to them and make the connection and see if they're willing to sell it to you before they list it. She said, I think you guys are going to love this house. It's what we've been thinking about. Look at that. And would you know that's what happened? How did that happen? I went to somebody that had a deep knowledge in this case, right? And I was paying attention, knew the kind of stuff that we wanted. We had a really good idea what we wanted, why we wanted it. And I went to somebody who really, really knew. So that's how you find things in life in every other area. So do it for your job. 844-747-2577. Man, I got so many papers on the desk here. Joe, I might need a file cabinet right here below the old, wouldn't it be funny if I had the old school metal file cabinet, it's clanged when it opened. Yeah, a bunch of people watching right now, they go, I have no idea what that is. What is this file, this metal file cabinet you speak of? 844-747-2577. By the way, I'm right here. I'm watching myself, which is always weird. I'm watching the chat room here. And for those of you that are watching live, you can interact right there in the chat window next to the video window. And interesting, we have just a couple people in here, and I teased that a little bit later. We're going to talk about some new data about how much politics, how it's discussed, what it means to their job, and more. A new survey about what people think about politics in the office. I think it's going to shock some of you. Early results here, Nathan, the director. We've got no politics. It never ends well. We've got, I think, personal beliefs, religion, politics, marriage should never be discussed at work. So we got a couple early votes. We'll just see. Wait till you hear the data. I think it's going to shock some of you good folks. We'll see. And then I'm going to comment on what I think is best for a vibrant, healthy culture. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But first to the phones. Sarah joins us in Cleveland, Ohio. Sarah, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. Hope you're having a great day.
I am. How are you?
Doing okay.
Okay.
So I am a 25-year-old female. I am a wife, and I'm about to be a mother, first-time mother, in about a month.
Yay!
Thank you.
Yeah.
So my question is, right now I feel very stuck in my job because I'm a teller, and inherently, to keep a bank business running, we have to sell to people, and being in the middle of baby step 2, it feels so wrong for me to be asking people to go into debt just to meet quotas so I can keep my job.
Right.
But leaving seems a little difficult because, one, I'm the only provider of insurance. My husband works for a private construction company, and also he absolutely hates his job, but he's doing it because it brings in a lot of income for us to, attack our debt and also pay for our future baby. And so moving to a new job just seems like it would be very wrong of me.
Okay.
But I also just hate going into work feeling kind of slimy, doing what I don't believe in.
Okay, so let me address that. Number one, there's nothing slimy about you, Sarah. You are not peddling something that is illegal. You are not peddling something that's morally wrong. Just because you and a lot of millions of other people, myself, Dave Ramsey, believe that debt is not the way to go about life, doesn't make somebody that has a credit card an evil person. You believe this, yes?
Yes.
Okay, then. So you are not slimy. But I completely understand the conviction inside of you because you feel like I'm trying to talk somebody into something that's not good for them. I get that.
Right.
Okay. But how do you think certain people at Pepsi and Coke and any kind of sugary soda feel? Like, at the end of the day, is Coke or Pepsi or any soda company evil?
No.
No. But if we're educated, you can't make the case that that's good for kids to be drinking all that sugar, or me for that matter. Am I right?
Yes.
So you can play this moral game all over the place. I can play it out. But at the end of the day, what I believe versus what is immoral or unethical is very different. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. So you aren't slimy. You're 1 month out from having a baby, and then you're going on maternity leave, trying to find something new right now. It's not feasible. It's not even, it just doesn't make any sense. You agree with me?
Right. Yeah. And I'm not looking to do it right now, but I was thinking, afterwards, because I've always wanted to do like clerical work.
Great.
And
so you can do that.
Some of that.
While you're on maternity leave, you're connecting. You're making all kinds of connections. You are preparing. You are using the proximity principle to move into that clerical work. Okay. But right now, we got a month out, and all I care about on this call is freeing you from this thought that you're a bad person, that you're slimy, because you're not. So stay in it until baby, have baby, love being mama. As you begin to look at coming back to work, I don't even mind if you come back for 2 or 3 months or whatever while you're finding the next thing, and then move on, do that clerical work. But don't feel slimy, because you're not.
Okay.
Is that why you called?
Yeah, I do realize now I don't want to feel slimy, and I guess I kind of wanted to go against the whole thing with, leaving my job when my husband hates his job too, that whole thing. Yeah.
But I agree with you. One of you, we need to stay financially stable, and that's what you're talking about. And so I'm saying neither one of you leaves a job while you're in baby step 2, certainly. Neither one of you leaves until you have something to leave to. No interruption in income. There's
of course. Yeah,
you guys are tough. You're not like in a toxic, awful environment. At least you didn't mention that. So
no, of course not.
Both of you hang, right? Hold until you have something to step into. And I'm your guy. Have your husband listen to the show. Have him call in the show. We'll help you figure out what that is. But yeah, hold tight. Don't leave. That's the right decision. You are not an evil, slimy person for selling bank products. And then eventually you're going to leave and you'll feel great about yourself.
Right.
Okay? I just want that burden lifted. Is the burden lifted?
I feel like I can start to accept that, yes.
Yeah, you're not a bad person. Okay?
Okay.
So get over that. I'm releasing you. Just Sarah, forget about it. You're a great person. You're doing good things. Banks aren't evil. Okay?
Okay.
I mean, let me make one more final illustration. What would you consider a food that you would eat that you would feel really guilty about?
Cheesecake.
Cheesecake. Fantastic. When you go to the Cheesecake Factory, you ever been there?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I love it too. When you go there and you order a meal, what's your favorite meal from Cheesecake Factory? Give me one option.
The 4-cheese pasta.
4-cheese pasta. Fantastic. So you eat the 4-cheese pasta, and then the waitress or waiter comes up to you and says, "Can I interest you in a slice of cheesecake?" Something like that, yes?
Yes.
You feel guilty about eating cheesecake. It's not good for you, right, Sarah?
Right.
But does it make the restaurant itself evil? Are they peddling evil? Are they bad people? Is the waiter or waitress a bad person? Should they feel guilty for recommending a piece of cheesecake to you?
No.
All right. So it's the same thing as you being a bank teller. Get over it. You're an amazing lady. You got a great future. You got baby coming in 1 month. Start focusing on baby. Start focusing on a future where you and your husband are both doing work you love and being debt-free for that baby. Stop worrying about the work you're doing. It's just a day job. You got it?
Got it.
Sarah is now free. Fly, little bird, fly. 844-747-2577. Yeah, that's an important issue for a lot of you who you come to my show because of Ramsey Solutions, the Dave Ramsey Show, and you're really committed to getting out of debt. You don't want to get back into debt, and you work for some company where maybe they sell whole life insurance or they sell some bad financial product. You've heard Dave rail against it and rail against credit cards. You work for a bank, and you're going, "Oh, am I awful?" I've co-hosted the show with Dave where we've had this call, and Dave himself will say, "Hey, you're not a bad person. You're not doing anything immoral or illegal. If you want to change jobs, let's start to take the path. Ken will help you, but you're not an evil person for working for a bank or peddling credit." All right? So I love the heart, but don't sweat it. Okay? 844-747-2577. Let's go to Tammy in St. George, Utah. Tammy, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. How can I help?
So I have been kind of jumping around jobs pretty much since I've gotten my first job. And I think it's confusing me because I've written out my talents and my passions, and I'm just having trouble coming up with how those can put me in a career.
Okay. Well, we just have to work it out. So the way it works is, just on the surface, is when you identify what you're passionate about, work you love, and you say you've come up with a few ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you connect the mission piece, which is results you want to accomplish in the world. To all work produces a result. You understand that? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So we use what we do best, the talent piece, to do work we love, to then produce or accomplish results that we look at ourselves at the end of a day and we go, I'm connected to this work because of the result that I am seeing, that I am help creating. Okay. So then when we put it all together, we go, oh, so if I use my talent to perform passion, to accomplish my mission, what are the jobs out in the marketplace, out in the world that allow me to do those three things? You tracking with me?
Yeah.
So you're just kind of getting stuck a little bit on the ideas, the specificity, I'm guessing. Yeah?
Yes.
All right, give me the answers. What'd you write down for work you love to do? We define that as passion.
Working with my hands, connecting with people, leading, team building, and improving.
Wow. Okay. What results do you want to produce in the world?
That's what's kind of unclear to me.
All right. So let's walk through the three questions that I think will unlock this. So know you like to work with your hands. You like to connect with people. I think you said leading people, leading teams. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then did you say something like producing excellence? You rattled them off so quick. I want to make sure I got it all.
Yeah. The last one was like improving, but yeah,
okay,
creating
great.
excellence.
All right. So that's a result you want to produce. Let's move that one over from the passion line to the mission line. So when we say, what are the results you want to create? You're a person that wants to create excellence, efficiency.
Uh-huh.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
You also want to achieve great results. So I could say you're about efficiency and you're about achievement. Is that true or false? Those are results that you would get very excited about.
True.
Oh, there we go. So now let's get even more specific. Who are the people you want to help, the problem you want to solve, the solution you'd like to provide? When I start to throw that out there, I asked you, who are the people you want to help? You had a vision. It just popped in your head. I want you to say it. Go.
Business owners.
Business owners. Oh, that was really easy. Whoa, Tammy, watch out now. You're getting specific. Don't start thinking because right now you're feeling stuff. Okay, so business owners. What's the problem or the challenge that business owners have that you want to be a part of solving?
Their business is stagnant and not growing.
Great. Now, what are the solutions to a stagnant business that you get excited about bringing to the table?
Creating those efficiency systems that help their, everything run smoothly.
Ding, ding, ding. Tammy, now do you understand? We've essentially created a job description for you, haven't we?
Yeah.
So we're going to go look in the marketplace. Where does a person like you, the person that you just described, where does that person work in a small business? How do they interact in a business to do those things? Where would you see that person? What department maybe or two would they be in?
I have no idea.
Sure you do. Sure you do. Is that a manager where you're leading a team? Could be a team of salespeople. Could be a team of marketers. Could be a team of operations people. Do you understand what I'm saying now?
Yeah.
So where would you be? Describe that for me. Describe where you would be, how you'd be interacting in a day to help make a small business run better. Don't get hung up on title. So what are you doing? Are you in operations? You working with salespeople, marketing, communications? What are you doing?
Probably the manager.
There you go. Because that's one of the things you said you love to do. You said, and I quote, I love to lead people and teams. And I think that this idea of working with your hands, is that in more of a manufacturing type world, or is it in a technology company? What would be a great place for you? Hello. Tammy, you started thinking again. Where would you love to lead a team of people tomorrow if I just guaranteed you couldn't fail? Leading a team of people, what kind of a business? Type of a sector? Blurt it out. You're so close.
I really can't think of anything.
Well, sure you can. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. Here, you're clear. Your homework assignment is this. I want you to go look for managerial process type positions. I don't think you want to lead a team of salespeople. Is that true or false?
True.
I don't think you want to lead a group of marketers. Is that true or false?
True.
I think you want to lead in an administrative operations type of gig. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
It's getting closer.
Okay, good. So keep looking. Why don't you just look?
Okay.
What are the managerial type leadership positions where you're involved in efficiencies and excellence? Get back to the results you want to create. You said, I want to create efficiency and excellence. I want to achieve results. So I just think that what I'm hearing there is that is an operations type efficiency. You know, if you were to go C-suite all the way up the ladder, that would be a chief operation officer, right? Who they're all about is the company operating at its highest level. I'm just trying to get your brain towards the type of positions, the type of work you want to be involved in. So it may be numbers. Maybe it's finance. Maybe it's a comptroller type thing where you're leaning to. I don't know. That's what you've got to look to, because when you then take your talents, which we didn't spend any time on, the things that you do best, which are going to align with what we discussed with passion, all of a sudden you're going to go, oh. And so now you're out there looking for this right here. Does this job allow me to produce these results? Does this job allow me to do the work 80% of my day? Am I doing the type of work I love? And then all of a sudden you see all kinds of things. You tracking with me?
Yeah.
You got this, Tammy. You just need to start looking. Start looking. When we know what we are looking for, we see it everywhere. Let me give you an example, Tammy, and the rest of you. How many of you have bought a car recently enough that you can remember the experience? Okay, everybody's caught up. Here's what I know is true, and research backs me up. In the days or week, maybe even a couple weeks following the purchase of that car, used or new, you saw that car everywhere. You're driving around, maybe even driving home from the lot, and you go, hey, wait a second, there's our car. That's our car. The kids say it, you say it. Everybody sees it. Why? Are there all of a sudden more of the car you just bought randomly in your life? The same routes you drive every day? No. Here's what happened. It's your brain. Your brain is a supercomputer. Neuroscience says we've got this thing called the reticular activating system. Simply means this. When we focus on something, great excitement, great intensity, passion, focus. It's on our minds. Our brain is a giant camera. Computer camera, and it starts going, oh, we're really focused on a red SUV. So now I'm going to look for red SUVs everywhere, and when I see it, I'm going to go ding, 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 and that's what's going on. So when we know the work we love to do and the results we want to create, and we can see it and we write it out on paper and go, oh, this is the job description. Now we're looking for that. And guess what? You're going to see it everywhere where you didn't see it before, and you're going to see more possibilities than you ever thought were there. That's how this works. Get really clear, start looking for it, and you'll be surprised. Just starts popping up everywhere. All right, quick break. When we come back, oh boy, we're going to take on a really fun question. Should politics be discussed at the office? There's a new survey. I think it might shock you. I want to know what you think. That's coming up. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
We were drawn to Christian healthcare ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs.
We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org.
We absolutely believe in it.
Helping you get unstuck and then get on purpose in your life and your work. This is the Ken Coleman Show coming to you from our Ramsey Solutions Studios in Nashville. Thrilled to have you with us. Fun conversation here in the chat room. I'm looking, if you're watching live with us here on YouTube, which, by the way, is 12 Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. If you're watching later, well, you've just missed all the fun in the chat room. So Jonathan says, oh, my goodness, hello, Ken. Well, oh, my goodness, hello, Jonathan. I don't know what's happening there. We have a lot of excitement, but I like that. Fun stuff. Okay, here we go. And by the way, the reason I'm pulling this up, you folks that are watching live right now, if you want to jump in the chat room, the team is watching this. If you get nasty towards each other, I've told the team, just delete your comment. We are not interested in nasty. All right? It's just not necessary. So don't be nasty. Be an adult. Let's have some fun with this. Here it is, in my hands. New survey. Forbes magazine is the source. New survey that I've got to discuss because this is not coming. This is happening. Gartner Inc., a leading research company, conducted a survey of 3,000 employees. This is hot off the presses. This is hotter than the hot and now donuts coming off the line at Krispy Kreme. That's how hot this survey is. Social issues in the workplace. You ready for this? 3/4, that's 75%, of employees expect their employer to take a stance on current societal or cultural issues, even if the issues have nothing to do with their employer. Oh boy. That means you could be manufacturing tires, Joe. And company employees are saying if it's a hot button societal issue, we expect the company leaders to take a position. Oh boy, oh boy. 68% of employees would consider quitting their current job and working with an organization with a stronger viewpoint on social issues that matter most to them. Oh, gosh. Okay. All right, folks, I got to tell you the truth. Okay, can we just do some numbers real quick? If your employer and the leaders of your of your employment aren't taking a position and you get mad about it, you want to leave because they're not, or they take a position because you kind of want them to and you don't agree with it and you decide I'm leaving, guess what? You're going to run out of companies or you're going to run out of positions. Because here's what we know. We have a very divided country. That's just the way it is. I don't know what the ratio is on right-leaning and left-leaning companies. I think that's insanity. You're going to run out of places to work if your leaders have to align with you on every issue. All right. Here's where we are in November 2020. More than 1/3 of U.S. employees reported that the U.S. presidential election has led them to argue about politics with their coworkers. 44% of employees said the election had led them to avoid talking to, that I understand, or working with a coworker. Now, I've said on this program before, if you've got Pete, Mr. Politics Pete in the office, and he's looking for a fight or he's looking for an audience around the water cooler, I'm all about ignoring Pete, going, hey, I got a phone call. Like every time Pete talks to you, I'm even fine with the fake phone call to avoid the tension. I'm okay with that. But not to work with somebody. I could say, hey, Pete, I'm done, bro. This is not good. It has nothing to do with it. You can talk about it to anybody you want to except me. I'm going to be nice to you. We got to focus on work. But to not work with somebody, yikes. Nearly 70% of workers said they were very satisfied when their organizations took action in response to social issues. Now, here's what I want to get your feedback on in the chat room, in the comments section as you watch this later. Brian Armstrong, who is the CEO of a Silicon Valley-based cryptocurrency called Coinbase, came out and said, we are not going to have political debates at the office. He said, we're not going to do it. We are going to be a neutral company. He then went as far as saying, if you aren't comfortable with this policy and you want to feel free to talk politics at the office, we have a nice severance package for you, and we're not going to be ugly about it. So if you don't like this position, we will give you a nice severance package to leave. What do you think about that stance? That's my question to you. I got to tell you, I like it. He's saying, look, this isn't productive. And there's nothing good coming out of it. And it's nothing to do with our cryptocurrency. And so we're not left, we're not right. We're just saying this is going to be a politics-free environment. Now, I don't know how you police that, so let me acknowledge some of you going, yeah, whatever, man. Yeah, I get it. But the idea is they're trying to say, look, we just don't want any tension, that's great. I think there's enough tension in the workplace as it is without bringing politics in. Don't get me started about how Joe and Madison fight over Alabama, Georgia every fall. I had to before COVID became a thing, we had plexiglass in our control room because they were just throwing food at each other during the show.
Roll Tide.
See, there it is. Go ahead, Madison.
Go Dogs.
There it is. All kinds of tension in the control room. I kid. No plexiglass, and they haven't thrown food, but they wanted to. They're just professionals. And here's the point. And he's actually saying, look, we'll give you a great severance package. Don't even owe that to you. He didn't say hit the skids, you're out. He offered a severance package. Here's what he told his staff. Direct quote, life is too short to work at a company that you aren't excited about. If you aren't happy with our position, hopefully this severance package creates a win-win for those who choose to opt out. I thought that was very classy. And I just bring that up because there's a real life situation. But here's the deal. The numbers say that a majority of people not only want to be free to talk politics in the workplace, they want their leaders to take a public stance. I got to tell you, I don't know how that ends well because so many people are really passionate about issues and really divided, and it gets personal really quick. It just does. And I got to tell you, you guys want to get together, out of the office and talk and fight? Great. If you can be adults and make up and come back on Monday and get after it, good. But here in the office, I just don't think it's good. Because here's what I know. I've got some great lifelong relationships with friends and family who I don't see eye to eye on some things that if we actually started talking about it, it would be pretty divisive. Regardless of how we emotionally handle it, just it's pretty different. I have worked with people. I work with people in this building that lean way different than I lean politically. Does not affect our ability to work together because we don't sit around and fight about it. And I will remind all of you folks who really want to stir it up politically of one universal truth that maybe you haven't accepted. Here it is. No matter how great your argument is, no matter how smooth your talking points, I have never seen anybody, friends, family, acquaintances, total strangers, get into a political debate or religious debate or any other hot button topic, and one of the people in the argument goes, "Ha! I got to tell you, you completely convinced me. I'm over 100%. This is unbelievable. You just blew my mind. I'm 100% on your side of the coin now." Never seen that happen, Joe. And it's never going to happen. So while I'm all for activism and being great citizens, because I think being a good citizen is as important as being a great worker, a great relative, a great friend, I don't know, folks. We got to be very careful here because we are going to force a toxicity in our work cultures that may be impossible to recover from. So what do you think? Comment away. I'm going to come over here and look really quick here in the chat room. Let's see here. Let's see. What are people saying? Okay. All right. Remember what used to be considered bad topics for public companies? Now they want all of that. It's really true. It was taboo. And now all of a sudden it's the things that were taboo. Hey, people want to talk about. People want to know where you stand. A lot of dividing lines. I think we need less dividing lines and a lot of uniting. And the uniting that we can all get around is the theme of the Ken Coleman Show, that you were created to make a difference in this world. You are needed. You must do it. That we can all agree on. We all want to do work that matters to us, and we want to make a difference, a positive difference in the world. So let's get unified around that. All right, before we go, let's squeeze in another call. 844-747-2577. Rick is joining us in Lambertville, New Jersey. Rick, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. How you doing? I appreciate you taking my call. It's a pleasure to talk with you.
Yes, sir. How can I help?
Yeah, I'm looking to get into a position. I have a degree in computer and information systems from Strayer University. I'm trying to get clear, and I want to get into coding. I've been working on getting qualified in the coding field.
Okay.
I want to get out of the job right now I'm working in accounts receivable. I'm a billing coordinator. I'm just tired of the BS that goes on there, correcting people's mistakes, especially sales.
Yeah.
And I'm looking to get. I'm working on towards getting qualified. Right now, I'm working on Microsoft Excel VBA, and I want to get to learn Python. I'm taking online courses on Udemy, and my question is, I'm wondering how I can break into that field,
Okay.
so to speak.
Well, you're on the right path. So the 7 stages to meaningful work are get clear, which you are. Stage 2 is get qualified. You're really in the middle of stage 2. You're getting qualified for the IT positions that you want to do. And then stage 3, you can be in consecutively while you're in stage 2. Stage 3 is get connected. That's why I wrote the proximity principle. It says in order to do what Rick wants to do, he's got to be around people that are doing it in places where it is happening. So you understand that. So what does that mean? So you need to be connecting with online, in person, as much as possible with people that are doing the type of jobs that you want. Why? Why do we do that? Well, they're going to open up opportunities for you to learn some more things. Hey, here's a new qualification. If you get this, I think it'll be really helpful. Hey, I got this qualification. It didn't really matter. You're going to get some inside knowledge and I think some wisdom on the path to get where they are. They understand that. But more importantly, I believe is the connection themselves. So they go, hey, man, Rick's a nice guy. I've known Rick, or I didn't know Rick, but we have a mutual connection. They connected me to Rick. I want to help Rick out. I'm going to keep my ear to the ground in the company that I'm in. Getting online, LinkedIn relationships, online communities, people that are in the coding world. Are there Are there online rooms and or associations or things like that? You've got to get immersed in the industry, and so that you have a good idea what's going on. Then you begin to say, okay, what are the companies in my area where I know they have people that are coding and they hire from time to time. So I'm now looking at every relationship I have, close personal network, as family friends. Then I'm going to go out to acquaintances, people that if I saw on the street, they'd stop and say hi. We talk for a few minutes. Then we go to social media, which is a form of acquaintances, but I would call it just a social. And we're telling everybody we know, hey, I'm in the process of getting qualified. 3 months from now, I'm ready to go for this position, this position, this position, right? And so as you're doing all this, Rick, you are practicing the proximity principle. So when you're around the right people and in the right places, opportunities present themselves to you. You're not going to be cold calling. You're not going to be cold applying. And so that's what you have to do. And it's a get up and do it every day. Who can I connect with? Who knows somebody over here? I'm in the process of getting qualified. Now's the time to be making the connections so that once you are qualified, you're way down the path in making connections. So that's what you do. And it is not complex. But here's the deal. Hang on the line. Madison, let's give him a copy of my #1 best-selling book. We'll give you whatever format you want, Rick, audio, ebook, or the hard copy. And folks, it is a practical guide. Listen to the formula for success, and this is at every level of your career. If you only are intentional to put yourself around the right people and put yourself in the right places, a cycle of opportunity will just take over. Here's what happens. When I'm around the right people, I learn what I need to learn. That's knowledge. I get insight on maybe my path. That's wisdom. And they point me to other people and other places. When I'm around those other people, it repeats itself. When I get in those places, I meet some more of the right people. And all of a sudden, opportunities start showing up like you're at a train station. If you want to catch a train today and you don't have a ticket, where do you go? Some of you go, online? No. You go to the train station and you catch a train. Here's what I know. If I'm in the right place, the right time, eventually will happen. Stop worrying about the timing. You can't control that. Put yourself around the right people in the right places, and opportunity knocks on your door. That's how you get in, and that's how you move up. All right, my time is almost up. But before I let you go, I want you to remember that you matter and you do have what it takes. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.